Hi guys, welcome back to Chicana's Cooking 101. For today's recipe, I will be showing you how to make a delicious chocoflan. The ingredients will be listed shortly, so don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I hope you enjoy this recipe. In order to achieve this recipe, the ingredients that you need are a box of Pillsbury Devil's Food Cake Mix, 7 eggs, half a cup of oil, 1 cup of water, baking spray, half a cup of sugar, 14 ounces of lechera, 12 ounces of evaporated milk, 4 ounces of cream cheese, 1 teaspoon of vanilla. You can also find the ingredients down in the description section of the video. Okay guys, let's get started. So I already emptied out the cake mix into the bowl that I'm going to be using. Like I mentioned in the ingredients, I like to use the Pillsbury Devil's Food one. I feel like this one is the one that kind of just like, it doesn't dry up as much, and that's what I like. I have made it with other ones and I didn't like how they dried up, because we do have to bake it in the oven for quite a few hours, or maybe like an hour and a half. Okay, so for my cake mix, I'm just putting in the ingredients that it says in the box. Nothing special, you know, just like the regular oil and water and the eggs. Just follow the instructions on your box. So we're gonna mix it up. Now that our cake mix is made, we're gonna move on to our stove so we can make the caramelo. Okay guys, now we're over here at the stove. Here we're gonna make our caramel. So I put the heat on medium, and then we're just gonna let it, like a medium high actually, and we're just gonna let it melt, but we also gonna make sure that we don't burn it. While we're waiting for the caramelo to start, or for the sugar to start turning into a caramel, I have my abundant pan right here. Let me zoom out a little bit so you guys can see. I have my abundant pan right there. I'm going to be putting the baking spray or the cooking spray on it. And then I like to use the one that has flour on it. As you can see, I use quite a bit because I absolutely hate when my chocoflan gets stuck at the bottom and it makes it look not very pretty, and it's one of my biggest pet peeves. So yeah, and then you're gonna put it aside and then just continue working on your caramel. It's gonna be very important for you to do that part, the spraying of the pan, first, because you literally will not have any time once your caramel actually starts, like or once your sugar starts turning into caramel, because it burns fast. You'll notice that your sugar kind of starts to clump up. That's normal. Don't get scared. It'll all melt. The very first time that I made it, I was so scared. I was like thinking that this wasn't gonna work, and I was thinking like, I had just messed up my mom's like pan, because I thought it was just all gonna get stuck in there. But trust me, it won't. It has to get hardened before it gets melted. And like I said, I have it kind of like on a medium high. If you're not comfortable doing it that fast, you can do like medium, but this is how I do it. And as you see, I keep moving it because the caramel, como dije, like it melts really fast, and it can burn really fast. For this part, I personally think it's better to use a non-stick pan than like a regular like metal one, because I don't know, I feel like the caramel can get stuck to the bottom of it. Also remember, don't use any metal spoons or utensils on your non-stick pans. Is that what it's called? This consistency is the one you want to achieve. We're gonna turn off our heat. And we're gonna put our caramel in, like that. We're gonna make sure it's all emptied out in there. And then we're gonna grab our pan. Be careful, depending on the kind of pan that you have, it'll get kind of hot, but just make sure that it's even, okay? So I'm like just moving it around a little bit, making sure that it's all nice and even. And then we're gonna go back to our workstation. So I know I said I was gonna go back to a workstation, but my pan got really hot, so I didn't want it to burn my little counter thing, my counter space I mean, so I just stayed on the stove. So now that we have the caramel in, we are going to put the pan inside, and we're gonna make sure that it's nice and even, okay? Everything that you do, you want to make sure that it's even. Otherwise you'll get like lopsided bun. Now I'm just going around with the spatula to make sure that everything is in fact real nice and smooth. You don't have to do this part if you feel like it's smooth, but it always just gives me an ease of mind, because then I'll know that my cake part will actually be even. Okay, now whenever I have my cake mix and caramel in my pan, I'm gonna go and make my flan portion of it. Just gonna clean around it. Feel free to do that too, if that happens to you. And I am gonna say, sometimes like whenever I use a blender like I am today, I feel like there's like, I don't know, since it's like more forced, you get bubbles in the flan mix, so it sometimes the cake will go over the flan, and that's perfectly fine. It'll have the same flavor, it just will look I don't know, like cake and flan mixed together. Okay guys, so now we're gonna go to make the flan, and for the flan you can either use a bowl or a blender like I will be. Alright guys, so now I am going to empty out the rest of my ingredients. I'm going to start with the lechera. And the evaporated milk. The lechera is really thick, so sometimes you might have to use a spoon, and that's fine. Alright, now that I have the lechera and the evaporated milk in the blender, I am going to add the 4 eggs. I'm gonna add the teaspoon of vanilla. I used pure vanilla extract. It says organic. Honestly, this is all I could find at the store with everything going on right now. So you don't have to use the organic stuff. I don't even know how it's gonna taste, honestly, because you know all the organic stuff I feel like tastes kind of weird sometimes. So we're gonna blend that, and then we're gonna add it to our cake mix. All right guys, so now I have my flan mixed, or whatever. I like to use the back of my spoon. Sometimes when I use the blender, it gets these little like bubbles thingies, and I feel like that kind of causes the cake to kind of go over it. So I like to use a spoon. So now that we have that done, we're gonna go in with some foil. And you're just gonna cover it up really well. You wanna make sure that it's super tight around the edges. So now I'm going in with some hot water in here. And I'm putting it in the pan. This part is really, really, really important. Honestly, I don't know the whole science behind it, but it's important, so just do it. All right, and then now that we have the water in here, we are going to put all of this in the oven for about 1 hour and 45 minutes. And then we're gonna take it out and see how it turns out. Okay, so now I have taken the flan out of the oven and I dumped the hot water out into the sink, and I'm taking off the aluminum foil very carefully so the cake doesn't come off with it. You can spray the foil before you put it on there with the baking spray. That always helps it. In this case, I forgot to do that. When we get the foil completely off, we are going to wait about 30 to 45 minutes until we're ready to flip the pan over. All right, guys, it's been about 45 minutes since we pulled the flan out of the oven, and it's now all flipped over. This is what it looks like. The cake did go into the flan a little bit, but it's okay. It's still delicious, and I really hope you guys enjoyed this recipe. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share my video, and we will see you next time.